You were saying this is the first plant-based milk?
Yeah, I mean, it's basically, it's truly plant-based because all these guys eat are plants, right? These guys don't eat fish. They don't eat chicken. Even though you see those ads, eat more chicken. Well, that's a cow saying eat more chicken.
Over the last decades, the dairy industry has taken a massive hit. Americans alone consume 47% less fluid milk than they did just 50 years ago. So to understand this better, hop on board, because today we're going straight to the source, the dairy farm. We'll get a deeper glimpse into how small dairy farms sustain, run, and survive in modern times. And we'll be getting our hands dirty, experiencing all of the good, the bad, and of course, that. Today, we won't be holding back. We'll do the chores, we'll meet the cows, and we'll stare eye to udder with the dairy industry as a whole.
Sounds
amazing.
Like when you're cleaning your car at the car wash.
Yes. Well, it's a vacuum.
So get comfy and hit subscribe, you dirty scumbags, as we explore the unanswered questions of dairy farming.
Do you think they're going to be offended that I wore this?
No.
No?
And hook the drop pipe up.
For our journey to start, we'll need to head up to the Hudson Valley. Located about 3 hours north of New York City, where between the scenery and the Gilmore Girls-esque towns, you'll find the farm that we're visiting today, Tollgate Farms, that's run by this man. This is Jim Davenport, a local dairy farmer, member of Hudson Valley Fresh, and he farms here in Ancrumdale, New York.
I'm Jim Davenport. I'm a dairy farmer, one of the members of Hudson Valley Fresh, and I farm in Ancrumdale, New York.
Told ya.
I've been shipping milk since 1986. I've been here at this particular farm since 1993.
Jim, being a fourth-generation farmer, is not only keeping his legacy alive, he's doing so while winning awards.
We've won that 7 times in the top 6 herders every year in the country for milk. To have a good latte, you have to have a good quality milk. It's got to foam well, got to stand up well.
And the work shows, because Jim loves his cows.
I can name most all of them just by looking at them. We've got Baloo, Bunsey, and we've got Pharma, and we've got Fancy, and yeah, there's a bunch of them. I mean, Bugatti, Boxster. Yeah, we've got a whole bunch of them, yeah.
Leisha, Who, Bingo, Warpaint, Belle, Baba, Lupa, Butter, Acrobat, Gordius, Shakira, Alicia, Pearl, Evie, Pippa, Spice, Bluma, Baladay, Ben Me, Coco, Bismuth, Fovia. I'm cheating. Yeah, we've had a couple Bismuths,
Yeah,
right? That's,
yeah, well, that
sometimes we reuse names.
Yeah.
You're gonna see like a SpaceX one down the line.
Well, not really. My cows aren't real fond of Elon Musk. They say he's gone off the deep end.
As we continue the discussion about the cows' interests on Elon Musk, Jim drives us up and around the fields to show us a bit of the history of the land that he farms on.
We're at about 1,220 feet elevation here. Barn is about 900, so this is 320 feet taller than where the cows live. Call that the Harlem Valley, believe it or not. The railroad used to run through this thing. And Route 22, which runs from the George Washington Bridge to the Canadian border, that's right down there. You can take it right to Canada from the GWB.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
As we head back down, Jim tells us how small dairy farms like his are becoming a dying industry.
When I started milking cows in '86, there were 250,000 licensed dairy farms in the United States. I'd be surprised if we're too much over 25,000 at the end of this year. Hudson Valley Fresh strive for higher quality product, so we get a higher price for it. Basically, once we pay all our employees at the plant and pay everybody to haul the milk, and all the bills are paid, whatever's left comes back to the farmer. The idea is to get a little more money back to the farmer to keep us in business.
It's kind of like a risk sharing. So any one farm, a lot of them, like I said, are smaller. Together, their milk comes under the one label, and we have one plant rather than 8 farms having 8 processing facilities.
Do you end up finding yourself getting attached to the cows?
Oh yeah, no, you do, because you work with them every day, and the idea is to keep them around for a long time, and they're helping. They're working for me to help me be able to make a living. So they're like buddies, and they're friendly and they're cool. They come looking to be petted. They don't, you have to. To start with the newest born calves out here.
Yeah, I'd love to see the
right
babies.
here. These calves are all born between 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago actually, and about a month and a bit ago. Usually they get up to see you. She's the oldest one. Yeah.
How old is she?
Oh gosh. Let's see. August. Yeah, about a month.
Can I pet her? Is it
Oh yeah. They would want to suck on your hand because they're still babies. Yeah, they basically that's an instinct.
That's the spot. It's always with cats, dogs.
Oh yeah, people.
I wish people felt this. If someone did this to my neck, I wanted this reaction.
Yeah. Anyhow, yeah.
We matched today.
Yeah,
It's
her name
really
is
exciting.
Bramble.
Bramble.
Yeah, and she was born 2 weeks ago, I guess. Yeah.
Bramble, you're so young, but you got the eyebrows of age.
The Saturday after she was born, she went to Marist College because we had launched some single serve chocolate milks in their little grab and go places that they have on campus. So she was there and had a lot of attention.
You really do be sucking on fingers.
And while these babies will be here for many months, it won't take long for them to go from cute and finger sucking to teenagers.
These are like our teenagers, our heifers. We try to like individually stall them when they're that little, just social distancing, they're licking on everything. So this is where they start to really, get integrated with their future herd mates, and they're organized by group, by size, birthday.
You said they're all teenagers?
Basically, they're 2 years old when they calve in for the first time. So when they're a year old is when they get in their, how do we put this, premenstrual rebellious ways. So yeah, that's why we call them kind of teenagers.
Are these just a year old and a little over a year?
Is that where they get the term cow lick right there?
Yep, there you go.
You're doing it. You're trying to get a little too close to this kid.
These heifer cows will stay here, buddied up until they start to have children of their own at around the age of 2. And then they go through the metamorphosis of becoming mama cows.
These girls, they were just out for their daily exercise and they just came in and they're all laying down. Atta girl, Grace.
They are as tall as I am tall.
Yeah, there's a couple that are bigger than her.
So we have like within the herd what we call like different cow families. So you'll see each sign here. Each cow has an individual name. So Marmalade is this cow's name. And Mom's name was Muffin. So if you look kind of around the barn, see like Phoebe, Freebie, Fafa, Foxy, like all the PH family. What's the family? The Girl Scout cookies.
Oh yeah,
There's like a
Samoa,
Samoa,
grasshopper.
yeah. And then for the cows that have had multiple lactations or they've had multiple calves, this cow right here, you can see, born in 2019, latest lactation, she produced, you'll see that 24,000 pounds of milk at 4.2% butter fat.
Also interesting, you're taking into consideration the fat as you go.
Oh yeah.
Yes, that's like one of the metrics. Being able to breed back and like have more calves is a huge portion. What do you want to like kind of fix a little bit on the cow? Maybe a little bit better legs, better rear udder attachment. Each farm's a little different, but yeah, that's kind of what you're looking for when you're breeding like the next generation.
These are all purebred Holsteins, so you can trace their ancestry back to 1885. They have a pedigree, yeah. So you could go all the way back for the first ones that came over from Europe. Yeah,
She's a big
they're
girl.
8 calves. Yeah. So she just turned 10 in January, like this January.
She's not the oldest,
We
right?
got one down, yeah, Bono.
Yeah, you want to go see that?
You know, Bono just turned 11.
How long do cows normally live?
Well, her mother lived to be 16,
Oh, wow.
and she had 11 calves and only bred her 12 times. She's very good at conceiving, and that's a big thing because they got to have calves that produce milk. So the idea is they have a calf roughly every 12 and a half or 13 months is ideal.
I see you have the grates for where they pee.
The goal is they go in there.
Things on the back scratchers.
Well, actually what those are, it's a low voltage or a lower voltage electric sensor hooked up to those. See what that cow's doing there? When they go to urinate, they roast their backs up, and these things remind them to step back. I've been zapped by that, and it's not that bad of a zap, but it reminds them to back up when they urinate so they don't wet their beds up too bad.
They control it.
Yep. Yeah, so they push with their nose and then it's fresh water. They can actually drink about a bathtub.
They can drink a bathtub full.
Yep, that many gallons. 30
How many
to 50
gallons?
gallons.
Whole.
Water in, water out.
But if you also want to drink a bathtub full of water, you gotta make sure you're drinking the right kind of water. That's why today our sponsor is Third Wave Water. Now, just so you know, I reached out to Third Wave because I recently became the owner of a new La Marzocco espresso machine, and I am terrified to use it. That's because water is not just water. It is full of minerals, all of which impact the flavor, and some that can cause damage to your equipment and especially your espresso machines. But Third Wave Water doesn't use any of those minerals that cause most of that damage, which gives me a lot of peace of mind. And when you pair Third Wave Water with distilled or reverse osmosis water, you get water that's not only delicious to brew with, but is safe for your equipment. So if you want to support our friends over at Third Wave, go ahead and check that link down in the description below. Now back to the cows.
Can you tell me more about what they eat?
Oh yeah. And the higher the quality of milk, the better the latte. As a rule, the members of Hudson Valley Fresh, we all tend to feed a lot of homegrown forages, grass silage, corn silage that we grow on the farm, and the high forage diet tends to make the milk a little more appropriate for lattes. All right, so basically that is the mix that we feed the cows. And that's called a total mixed ration because it's got everything they need. It's grass silage that we have produced here on the farm, and then whole plant corn silage. We chop the whole plant and turn into silage.
Silage.
Yeah, it's basically it goes through a process where you put it in a silo and you fill it and you put a plastic cap on top. It goes through an aerobic stage. The oxygen gets used up and then the anaerobic stage starts, and that's driven by lactic acid bacteria.
It's fermenting.
Yep, exactly. And
Pickled grass,
yep,
pickled
basically
corn, yeah.
when it's all done, the pH gets down to a certain point. There's enough acid that it actually kills the lactic acid bacteria. They kind of self-destruct, but at that point it's stable. That's the one that's hooked to that mixer wagon. Load it and feed the heifers outside with the mixer. Then we'll load it again and bring it in here and finish loading it in here. Full to the top, 8,000 pounds will feed these guys for one day.
Oh wow. Jeez.
And that's our manure storage. That holds 500,000 gallons of manure. Our corn crop, all it gets for fertilizer is manure. We don't buy any commercial fertilizer for that.
It's already in house.
This
looks like one of those above ground pools I had.
Yeah, well, it is sort of, but it's
Yeah,
the sort of
not a
thing
fun
you don't want to swim in it, I don't think.
What's this with these tires?
That's the bunker silo. Most large dairies don't mess around with upright silos. They have everything in horizontal silo. 600 or 700 tons of feed in these when they're full. Basically, this is all cut in half tires and sidewalls, and that's what holds the plastic down to keep the air out.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, this is the face that we're feeding out of. This is the haylage for the cows. Grass silage, what do you want to call it.
Oh, I see. So they pull from this.
Yeah, so we try to, you can just tell just the smell of it. It's got a nice, like a vinegary smell.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
it actually is like.
Yeah, that's lactic and acetic acid are the two acids.
Smells like kombucha.
Yeah, and that stays really stable. Once the pH is lowered, even in the summer, it won't heat up. It won't go through a second fermentation. This is tall fescue is what this grass is. Very productive, very drought resistant, and as long as you cut it young, the cows will eat it really well. It doesn't look very tall, but it's thicker than heck. It's all laying down. There's a lot of feed here.
As humans, we just eat kind of like the kernels on the corn. Cows can actually digest just about 6 inches up. Not fully digest all of it, but a lot of that plant material because they have the 4 stomach compartments. They have those good bacteria in their stomachs that can break that down. And if you look at a farm like this when you're on a hill, no one's really going to want to grow veggies here. So you're using corn to feed the cows on land that, otherwise would maybe go underutilized.
Yeah, this kind of land here, vegetable growers like it flat. We'll definitely be chopping this pretty soon. But that's the base of their diet. That and the grass. Chop the whole plant, leave this much, and then the grass, it's mowed for 4-inch height. That spins really fast. It cuts the corn off, it feeds it into the feed rolls, and then it goes through a bunch of knives and chops it into short lengths, and then it's done with that, it goes through a roller mill processor that takes the kernels and smashes them so they're more digestible for the cow. This thing here is the grab to make the corn lean over. Get it sort of headed in where it belongs. The new one's a lot of money. This one's kind of old, but it works, so.
Hey, it looks just as deadly.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to get caught in that. When I get up here in the morning at 3 o'clock, cows are in the barn, and I turn the lights on, sanitize the system to begin milking, and then go through the barn and scrape underneath the cows, make sure their beds are clean, push in the feed to them, and then start milking about 4:45, 10 minutes to 4. And then if there's crops to do, mowing grass to chop for silage, or chopping corn, or just all the stuff that you do on a farm where you produce your own feed. Don't get a lot of sleep, but sleep when you're dead, right?
Feeding the cows, one of the most frequent chores that needs to be done throughout the day. Jim uses this motorized feeder with a spinning paddle that helps streamline that process, delivering silage directly to the cows quickly and evenly. At least to start.
And even though that feeder mixes it really well, so it's really well blended, they can still like find out, ooh, little bits of corn, like that tastes really good. So they'll like sort through it and then kind of push like the stuff that, yeah, like the vegetables get pushed out and then like the nice sweet treats. Yeah. So we just try to make sure they're getting all of it.
Just like that. Good babies. Oh, sorry, I popped you in the nose. Sorry. Oh.
We're gonna get the calluses.
I'm gonna be really good at this and guitar. You're gonna have all the good stuff. Your macro and micronutrients. I think I took a little. Can you show me some pointers?
You know what? Like when you're pouring, you know, your latte art, it's like the same thing. It's just muscle memory.
It's definitely latte art. That's really.
Yeah. They love this. I mean, yesterday I started milking, and by the time I started, I think they ate it all.
This is very, very, very young, sweet grass. So
Yep, grown right here on the farm.
Yep, that field we drove across up there, that's from the edge of that.
Oh yeah, they go kind of wild for that.
Yeah, it's very, very sweet. Just, you know, take it kind of in chunks. You just take it and just shake it out.
Alright, I got you. Hey baby. That's
And
for
then-
you. Hello cow, I brought you stuff. That. It's grass. No need to be scared.
You're a good farmhand.
Thank you. I know, I've been practicing. First it was the broom, I've upgraded.
Treat.
And as we continued to feed the rest of the cows, we noticed that Jim was tending to a mama cow who had just given birth to a new calf, only a few hours before we had arrived. And while we weren't able to capture the birth, we did capture
Oh my god, he's
this.
standing. He's gonna try to stand. Oh my god.
Oh my gosh. You're doing it.
He's balancing.
And honestly, he's a little slow because usually they're up in a couple of hours.
I'm excited to milk a cow.
You will.
Yeah.
You're gonna get a crash course in milking cows,
I don't know if I want a crash course.
Yeah, well,
Anthony.
you'll pick it up fairly quick.
I was nervous, but Jim assured me that this would be easy.
Milking mode. So this drop tube will come off. The magnet here is a reed switch, so when the milk level gets to a certain point, a wash, we put water from the sink. Then once it's in the pipeline, every valve is not closed, that sends the water to the outside in order to get to lift the milk from way down here on the other side. But now we're milking, the milk will come from wherever we're milking. It's so simple that it's pretty much idiot proof. That air just kind of moves along, and after that, it's all just runs down.
Easy peasy.
So yeah, that's pretty. And then over here, we have milk filters that we put in the line just in case a bit of sawdust or a bit of a hair of the cow or something ends up. This will catch it. I've sanitized my hands, of course, and now we're just gonna take the pipe and swing it over so when we milk the cows, it'll go in a tank and not down the drain like wash water. Filter and filters. And voila, we are ready to put the milk in the tank. This is the towel belt.
The door feet like
Oh, yeah.
It was time to get serious. It's like an alien outfit.
What we do, the cows, they're all clean. You know, the teats are clean. But we strip them out, and strip a few squirts of milk in here. And what that allows us to do is inspect the milk and make sure there's nothing wrong with it. But also, that stimulates the cow to release oxytocin from their pituitary, gets into the bloodstream, and that causes them to actually let their milk down. When you do this, you're basically sending a signal that it's time to get milk. And oxytocin is a smooth muscle contractor, so it gets in the bloodstream, and all the small cells or the milk secreting tissue in the udder, like little bunches of grapes, they get squished by the smooth muscle tissue, and they send the milk down to the teat. And then they'll let the milk down, and it'll go into the machine and into the tank.
That's
this
sanitation.
is half percent iodine, which is a naturally occurring mineral in milk. It's a trace mineral, so it works great, and it's bactericidal. So basically, if the cow has a little sawdust on her udder, we'll just wipe it off by hand, and then we just strip each quarter a few times, squeezing it a little bit and pulling down, just like a fluid motion. Something that once you get the knack of it, it's second nature. We'll see how you do.
Pretty good at pinching and pulling, so.
Okay, there you go. So, I'll hold on to this. So, and you'll hold her tail. You can go here, but just
Take
just
Jack.
I'm ready.
You ready?
Don't let go.
I won't.
pull down and squeeze a little bit. Oh, there you go. Yeah, you got it.
From the top, oh, and then you squeeze. I see.
You see that? Roll your fingers down. Yeah,
Ah.
Yep,
Hey,
good.
want to get the front a little more?
Sure.
Just 'cause I missed this
Sure,
one.
yeah, get that. That's right. Yeah, good.
Wow.
Okay, then while you're down there.
And we don't drink it now, right?
No. Make sure you complete coverage of the teeth. Very important. You got it. Good. Yep. Excellent.
Gotcha, darling.
The back ones are always a bear. Sometimes I have to
gotcha,
double dip them just because of the angle. There, she's 100% ready to go. Now a minute later, after that, for initial contact, we'll put the machine on.
There you go. She says, put that machine on me.
Oh, wow.
She wasn't doing that before.
You're so right.
Just a
Yeah.
couple of
Little stimulation.
stimulation and
She's leaking.
so something that's really cool, once the unit is hooked up, right, this milk is going up and through the pipeline, it really doesn't come in contact with air until you open the gallon of milk at the coffee shop.
So you just want to wipe all four of those teats off of that.
Okay.
One towel for all four. Yep. Get them all wiped off. No chlorine or no. Okay, so we hold it like that,
Medusa.
and there's a little button right here.
Okay.
Now we have vacuum. And you just go, yep, that one goes to the one closest to you, the other one goes to the back one there.
Oh, yeah.
See?
You got it.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that. Like you can do it your whole life.
It sounds
Amazing.
like when you're cleaning your car at the car
Yeah.
wash.
Yes.
At the,
Well, it's a vacuum, 14
That's-
inches of mercury. Down there at about 12, I guess.
one thing I'm really impressed with is the speed at which the milk is coming out.
Yeah.
There's a lot of milk coming out really fast.
Yeah.
Versus
I mean-
that, like back in the day, I'm sure this took a lot longer.
Yes.
With that little
Yeah.
bit that came
Yes,
out.
you know, milking them by hand, it wouldn't be possible. It'd be impossible to milk these cows.
So roughly like 7 to 10 minutes twice per day. That's their work day.
That's not bad, and they feel
That's not
relief
bad.
after.
Yeah, and they feel
Yeah.
relief, and the rest of the time they get to lay down, go outside, drink some water. We'll use 4 units, one person, and then they'll slowly work their way down.
How many cows are in this room, you think?
There's a couple empty stalls, 69 milking, or 68 milking right now. Yep, barn hold 71. We have a whole bunch due in October, like a whole bunch. So cows are gonna be going on their vacation. It's gonna be like Grand Central Station around here.
Yep. Oh yeah, Bob's away.
Gotta stick aside to the side. I don't wanna be there.
So again, even when you're milking, you're taking the time to keep the stall as clean as possible. Because as soon as they're done, they typically want to lay down, and that's the most important time that it needs to be clean and dry is when they're laying down. What you thought?
Yeah.
Better, worse?
What do I
different?
think?
Yeah.
I'm so happy.
Good, you
I-
actually did a good job too.
Hey,
You know?
Thank
I
you
mean,
so
as far
much.
as the
Let me get
stripping,
that on camera.
That wasn't the easiest cow to strip. She's fairly easy going.
As we closed out our tour with Jem, we were sent off with some fresh chocolate milk, and I really started to feel the impact of the things that we had learned today. So before we left, I still had one more question I wanted to ask Jem.
do you think there's any misconceptions that people have about dairy farming?
Oh, where do we start? Yes, of course, yeah. You know, we're going to ruin the planet. My cows are going to cause Armageddon. You know, honestly, if you look at the amount of nutrition that you can get off of this herd, how many people this herd will feed in a year. We grow our crops on land that a vegetable grower wouldn't use because it's too steep. We use cover crops. They make the soil better. Every year, a cover crop will add 800 pounds of carbon per acre. And that's if you clip the top off and feed it to your animals, what's left. So basically, 0.5% of organic matter per year will accumulate just by growing cover crops. So none of our soil stays open. We've always had something growing out of it or it's dormant in the wind. We maximize production of what the cows are meant to eat. You know, and a byproduct of that is a little methane, but you know, I think the amount of nutrition you get from it, I think it's a good trade.
Can you name all of the farmers here? I think the love goes one way.